Anytime. I gave you the worst place to eat it. Good morning, YouTube. Thanks so much for coming by, and welcome to another episode of the Untamed Olive. So as you can see from the intro here, my boyfriend Steve, who is a very good sport, is taste testing a chicken fried cauliflower recipe that I've made. I originally got the recipe from BuzzFeed. My friend Louie, who lives in the Netherlands, sent me BuzzFeed's video and said you should make this on your channel, and it looked amazing. It is actually vegetarian, so I ended up omitting and substituting for the eggs and the dairy, and then I also tried to make it just a little bit more healthy, and I think it turned out fantastic. So if you're interested in making a total comfort food chicken fried cauliflower with gravy, or if you're interested to see how Steve likes it, because Steve does eat meat as well sometimes, I would keep on watching. Okie dokie guys, I am starting with 3 tablespoons of vegan butter. I'm really liking this Melt brand lately. It's been on sale at Smith's, which is great. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of olive oil here. And what this olive oil is going to do, it's going to up our smoke factor for our butter, so everything doesn't burn as easily and we still get that yummy butter flavor. So to that melted butter and oil, I'm going to add a medium shallot that I've coarsely minced, if that's technically a term, as well as 1 large clove of garlic that I've also coarsely minced. And then I'm just going to move that around in there with my spatula for about 3 or 4 minutes. Gravy, that really distinct sage sausage flavor. And then before I add the herbs, that'll be our last step, I'm going to add 1 more cup of unsweetened almond milk just to thin it out a little bit and to make it nice and creamy. Once we've got that totally incorporated here, I'm going to add in our fresh herbs and stir them in and just let this sit at a low temperature while we're frying off our cauliflower steaks. Okay, now I'm adding some canola oil to this sweet pan that Steve actually found at the DI, which is so rad. If you are not from Utah, the DI is kind of like our version of the Salvation Army. So I'm adding it to this really cool grilled pan, about 1/8 of an inch up, trying to stay a little bit less on the oil here. And I've got it on medium heat as well. And then I've got our whole head of cauliflower, which hopefully you can kind of see with this angle. I'm leaving the bottom on because that's what's going to hold together our steak. Oh, and that pan handle retracts, which is also really rad. So I'm going to start about 1/3 in, and it's going to break off into little florets. Those we will just fry on their own for little tidbits, but the bulk of these steaks is going to come from the middle, as you can see here, as we cut them. And once we're all cut and got everything out of the way, we're going to move on to our dredging process. Okay, now we dredge. I have got some egg replacer here, 2 tablespoons mixed with 1/2 cup of water, fresh ground pepper, and some salt. It's going to act as our binder, or like if you were frying something and using egg. I'm going to pour that into a shallow little plate here. Note, you could probably use a little bit deeper of a dish. This is as deep of dishes as I had. I think a cake pan would probably work better, but for what we were making, this totally worked. Also got some more of that rice flour in this second plate here, and to that I'm going to add some cornstarch and some salt and some smoked paprika for more flavor in our breading. Again, you can use all-purpose flour, and that's just fine. I just wanted this to be gluten-free, and I really do like the texture that the rice flour brings. It's a little bit more tempura-like, and I love that about it. So once we've got these all mixed up, what we're going to do is take our cauliflower steaks, and we're going to start in wet, go to dry, and then go to wet again, and go to dry again, and then we will place them in our Alrighty guys, some dredging in action. Like I said, we're starting with wet and then moving on to the dry. I probably could Alrighty, these beauties are nice and golden brown. I'm going to place them on some napkin here to just absorb some of that excess oil. I'm also going to salt them a little bit, and then I will plate them up and pour some of this hot yummy gravy on top and see what Mr. Steve thinks of them. It's not chicken. Really? You're not lying? Bite number 2, really?
Bite number 2.
Yes.
Really.
Thanks, baby. He doesn't hate it, folks. Except for I gave him the most awkward way to eat this possible. He really likes it. Non-vegan approved. There you have it, folks. I hope that you love this recipe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Cheers.